Hey, it's Jermaine, and welcome back to How She Did It, Cozy Conversations with T. So this is where we have a chat with women of different backgrounds and see how they attained their success, who they are, and how they got here. Today we got someone very special with us. Please welcome MasterChef Singapore Season 3 contestant, Charmaine D'Souza.
Thanks for having me, yeah?
No, thanks for coming down here, and I can call you Shah as well, right?
That's right.
So you're someone that I think you've lived so many lives, right? You've experienced so much in this lifetime. Tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, starting with I'm a housewife for
Okay.
the moment.
Yeah.
And I've been a Singapore girl.
Oh, with Singapore Airlines. a
That's
stewardess.
right.
Nice.
I've been a stewardess with Singapore Airlines for a little over 11 years.
Oh, wow, 11 years.
That's
Okay.
right. And prior to coming to Singapore, I've participated in beauty pageants. And I also modeled.
Whoa, as in back in India.
Back in India.
What was
That's
the most
right.
stressful part about being a beauty pageant?
Well, I think it wasn't stressful. For me, it was just a joyride.
Oh.
Because I never looked at it in a career perspective. For me, it was an experience. So it was fun to actually be to be considered among some of the most beautiful women. Of course, I'm talking about donkeys years ago.
Well, she is though. I mean, look at her, right? Yeah.
And yeah, it was nice, the media publicity.
Do you get
being
money?
For modeling, yes, I did.
Yeah.
But in beauty pageants, you don't get money, but then you get a lot of goodies from sponsors.
free
It's
stuff.
like free stuff. It was fun,
Nice.
exciting.
And at the time of this recording, right, in MasterChef Singapore, you are in the top 10.
That's right.
Congratulations. Yes. And that's just amazing because I also read that you actually auditioned for the last season of MasterChef.
That's right.
But you didn't make it.
That's right. So
Yeah.
I auditioned for it, and I got a call from them, passed the audition, and then I think I didn't make it. I was like, okay, am I going to try next year? And I was like, maybe not. And then I saw the advertisements for season 3, and I was like, hey, why not? Just give it a try. If I get it, fine. If I don't, it's fine. There's nothing to lose.
But look at you.
Yeah, I've made
I'm
it.
so glad you decided to come back and try again.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think like your future is going to be crazy from here on.
Well, fingers crossed.
And the reason why we wanted to speak to Charmaine today is because you are someone that has different definitions of success throughout the stages of your life. It's not just linear, it's not just one thing.
That's
And
right.
I think that's very interesting to kind of unpack here today. But I want to kind of ask you as well, when you were younger, right? What was your dream? What do you want to be?
Wow. Do you really want to know?
Yes. I wanted to be a doctor, but look at me now.
Oh no! I was far from having such dreams of being a doctor or a lawyer or anything. Well, each afternoon when if I got back from school or if I was at home, when my mum slept, I would sneak into the kitchen, grab the utensils, grab cutlery, and play as if I'm in front of these huge cameras and I'm demonstrating how to cook. I didn't know how to cook.
Oh. When you
I
were
didn't know
young?
when I was young. So as I grew a little older, that passion developed into making little tea time snacks. I come from a really large family. We're 6 siblings and mum and dad, so it's 8 of us. So I would whip up these large batches of, cheese toast or pancakes or fritters for afternoon snacks, of course, under the watchful eye of my mum. And I think this slowly grew into a beautiful passion. And
For cooking and all
yes, and here I am participating in the MasterChef
that. The
challenge.
MasterChef Singapore, yeah.
Yeah,
So when you moved from India to Singapore, how old were you?
I think I was around 21, 22.
That's super young. And what was the reason for, wanting to pack up your life and coming here?
Well, I was studying, and some of my friends saw this huge advertisement in the newspapers with the Singapore girl, and it was a job advertisement. Singapore Airlines was recruiting. I never dreamt of ever being a Singapore girl. I've seen them at the airports, and it's iconic to just look at a Singapore girl
Even in
sashay down the
1998?
airport. Oh yes,
Really? Okay.
Oh yes. And my friends were like, hey, I think we should apply. And I'm like, yeah, go for it. And they're like, no, you apply as well. And I'm like, I don't think I'll get through. And they're like, just apply. And it was a day of snail mail where you would apply and then wait for them to revert back. You had one interview, then again there would be a snail mail. You go for the second
Oh
interview,
my.
and it was a wonderful process. And after series of interviews, I got the job and I came here.
So that's why you moved here, because you got the job to be a
Yes.
Singapore girl.
That's right.
You see, if your friends hadn't pushed you to do that, can you imagine? Your life
would
would be
never
so
happen.
different.
It's I think every single thing, my career that happened was an accident.
To be honest, like I'm in this job as well because my friends pushed me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if they didn't say like, oh, just go take part in that competition, I would probably be not a doctor. Not a doctor. Maybe a dentist at max. No, but I mean being in beauty pageants when you were younger as well and being a
Yes.
Singapore girl, right? I think that projects an image of beauty to me, right? Is that something that was very important to you when you were young?
No.
Not at all.
No. So
You kind of just fell into it.
I just fell into it. So I never ever thought about beauty. For me, it was climbing up a tree, or sneaking into mom's kitchen and whipping up something.
But being in beauty pageants, like, what about that was so exciting? I can't imagine, the pressure.
Pressure, yes, of course, pressure is there. But then it's glitz and glamour. It's here you're just an ordinary person, but then you all of a sudden you're dignified, you're glorified, and you sashay down the ramps, and there's so much of paparazzi around, and it's a beautiful experience actually. Yeah, but sometimes it can get to your head.
Have you seen, situations where it's affected girls?
I think in all professions it
Yeah.
does. All professions it does, and I think I wouldn't be wrong to say that yes, I have seen it. You long for the glitz and glamour,
The
and
spotlight.
yes, it can be on you forever. It can go away from you. So you have to be prepared. And for me, it was nothing something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it was just a phase.
You knew that there was an expiry date to it,
Yes.
and then somehow you pivoted to come to Singapore and be a cabin crew. But being 11 years, that's a pretty successful career, if I say so myself. How far did you get as a cabin crew?
Well, I became a leading stewardess. That's the green uniform.
Is it true that only if you wear the green kabaya or you're a senior, then you can, work in the first class cabin or the
That's right. And you needed to have special training to work in first
first
class.
You must have seen a lot of things,
Oh, yes.
up in front. Like, what's the most, I would say, elaborate or like luxurious person or thing you've seen?
Oh my God! It's I think getting to see celebrities.
Who have you seen? Tell me.
Oh my gosh, there are a lot of celebrities. For me, it was like seeing at that point of time Liz Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley. She's like a model and all that.
And it's just you have this image of them, and then you see them right there in front of you, and they're these down to earth, absolutely wonderful human beings. It's like I remember I had a Bollywood celebrity, Amitabh Bachchan,
Okay.
and he so sweetly on his own he asked us for these letter pads that we have. And he's like, how many crew are there? And he autographed it for every single crew.
What?
So, whether it's celebrities, from Bollywood, Hollywood, sports persons, it's being there and, just seeing them the way they are. It's like,
There's so much to learn from that. I think
Yes.
no matter what height of success you reach in life, it's all about being down to earth. You're never too big to be kind to people.
Exactly.
Did you count like how many countries you visited over the course of 11 years?
not really.
But a lot, I'm
But
sure.
most of the destinations Singapore Airlines flew to, yes, I've been there.
Am I on the wrong path in my life?
You fly for free.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Holidays are free, fly
Holidays
for free.
and it's
yeah.
like you work hard, and then it's your own free time. You want to go sightseeing, you want to go and enjoy some delicious food, street food, you want to shop.
And seeing all those cultures, that's just amazing.
Exactly.
At this point, you have lived, the pageant life, you've lived the Singapore girl life, and then you decided, okay, it's time to settle down, start a family.
That's right.
At which point did you think, hey, let's become a chef?
Well, that was a lifelong dream.
Yeah,
being
since
a
you were
girl,
young,
since
yeah.
I was young. But I had given myself a time frame of when I started a family. I decided to put my career on hold, not to think about anything else. I think when I quit flying, that's the actual time I started exploring Singapore, because most of the time you would
Oh.
either wake up, eat, meet friends, and okay, go back to sleep. It's like, our body clocks we would be more of night owls, because most of our
just-
flights are at night.
Yeah, it's just a blur, everything.
And
yeah.
that's when I began to really enjoy my surroundings, enjoy what family life is. And I was like, let me focus on this aspect of my life for at least another 7 to 8 years, and then I'll think about what next.
So this is like 8 years after that. Your son is how old is he?
He's 11.
He's 11.
Yeah.
And did you, do anything in terms of like cooking before you took part in MasterChef?
For my family, I cook every day. I've also participated in some cooking competitions
In
before,
Singapore?
in Singapore.
Okay.
And I have been approached for opportunities of, collaborating with some magazines and some restaurants. But I didn't really focus on that because I think I was not ready at that point of time. Somewhere inside, I lacked the confidence
Yeah.
of, hey, will I be able to do it? I'm just an ordinary housewife at this point of time. I had to get my mindset in place that, I am ready for it.
So you feel like there's always a right time for anything. You don't feel like, oh, it was too late to start completely over in something new.
No. I think it's in life, you always need to keep the window of learning open. It's never too late to learn. And I think that's my motto in life. Do something new every day. And that's what makes your life exciting. And more so when you are a homemaker, when so much of your time is focused around your family. Doing something like that is my time. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm trying to upgrade myself as well. So, yeah.
And a lot of people that might be tuning in, even young people these days, they get into a certain line of career and they want to get out of it. They feel like it's not suitable for me, but they have anxiety because they think this is all I've known. What makes me think I can succeed somewhere else? Like, what would you say to that?
The biggest thing that holds you back is fear. It's like, what if I fail?
Self-doubt.
Yeah, self-doubt. And we also have this at the back of our heads. It's like, hey, what are our friends going to say? Is our family going to be supportive?
Judgment.
What
and-
if,
yeah.
what if I do not make it? But I think that is being happy in life is your way to success. If you cannot be happy in anything you do, you will never ever be successful.
So happiness is success.
Happiness
You
is
don't need so much. Like you don't
success.
need, money, the this or that. It's happiness.
It's being happy. If you're happy, it shows, and that in turn is gonna reflect on the work you do.
And I feel like that is how you were led into MasterChef as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we spoke earlier about, you not making it for season 2
Yes.
and then coming back again for season 3.
yes.
What motivated you to, come back and just try again?
As I said, it's like never ever hold yourself back from exploring, new opportunities, trying out. And this, I've learned this from the time I'm very young. Try and try and try until you succeed.
There's no harm in trying.
There's no harm. There's
Yeah.
no harm. And never ever have this fear and think that what people will say. If anyone's listening, it's like, I hope I can at least change one teenager's perspective. It's like, don't have fear in your mind to try out something new.
What is it like, during the challenges?
Oh my gosh. Okay, the first thing is not only was going for the audition and seeing the same faces.
Right.
Okay, so for me, that was absolutely nerve-wracking. And I'm like, hey, what if I do not perform well? And I was like, okay, you know what? One side of me was like, just give it your best shot. You love cooking. And and then I got through top 18 and wow, it is not what you see on TV.
Really?
There's so much more to it. Of course, the adrenaline, the excitement, your nerves are, oh my gosh, it's high intensity.
Yeah.
It's like you have to really think out of the box at times. literally, especially with the mystery box, it's like, oh my gosh, it's exciting.
I feel like it keeps you alive the way that you're talking about it. I also want to go MasterChef.
You should.
No,
you
I can't
should.
cook. My signature dish is Maggie mee.
Oh.
She's clapping for me.
See,
Yeah.
no matter what you cook, as long as you cook, you are a good cook.
Oh, okay.
That's how you learn.
Oh.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And
it's like-
I feel like you have an affinity with food. So if you weren't in MasterChef right now, right, what do you think you would go into?
Well, it would definitely have to be something around food. I love to impart my knowledge on the younger generation. In fact, that's one of the things I'm strongly looking at, probably, in terms of volunteering and teaching the younger generation about food, how to cook, because so many kids go off to universities or, they travel overseas, and sometimes they long for that connect back home, and food is the best they can
Yes.
have.
I mean, even after the competition, regardless of if you win or not, I think that's something you could do.
I am.
yeah.
I have that at the back of my head.
Will you
it's like-
open a restaurant? Like, can we go and eat some?
Well,
food?
my son and husband are very inclined to that.
Oh, really?
Yes, they want me to do it, but
What would
don't
your
think...
concept be? Like, what would your cuisine be?
Okay, it's something not many have tried.
Uh-huh.
It's something called East Indian cuisine.
East Indian.
Yeah,
What's
now
an
that
example?
that is
Yeah.
nothing to do with the geographics of India, but
Oh.
it's a small clan of people from Mumbai, and there's a lot of heavy influence of the Portuguese, the British on our cuisine. So I grew up eating a lot of. I didn't eat butter chicken while growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't eat a naan. I grew up eating a lot of dried fish.
Oh.
I grew up eating a lot of roasts. And it's different. In fact, I have this small little group of my inner circle who absolutely adore it.
It must be great to be a friend. Like, you cook for,
Yes.
gatherings and all that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And they love to try it because you don't eat it anywhere else. You won't find it in restaurants. So I'd like to share that goodness of my cuisine, what I've inherited with others.
Yeah. Well, regardless of whether you win this season, I consider it a success.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's like, just making it to the top 18 is an achievement. It's a very, very big achievement. And yes, of course, I went on to get the coveted white apron, which is like, for me, a dream come true. I do not know what tomorrow holds, what the challenge will be in the next episode. But seeing myself here makes me proud. It's like, hey, I've done it.
Yes.
I've done it.
You have done it over and over again, in fact.
Well, fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
It's
fingers
crazy.
crossed.
Like, so many doors of opportunity are about to open for you. Like,
Yes.
I don't even know where you're going to be in
The
a
biggest
year's
door
time.
is here.
Hello. No, actually, I'm a small door.
You're a small
I'm a
door.
tiny
but
door.
You're a tiny door, but a big opportunity.
But in 1 year,
Yes.
what does the future hold? That's so exciting. And just hearing your enthusiasm for life, it makes me, want to go chase my dreams.
Yes, you're still young. You're super young. There's so much. There's so much of beauty ahead of you. It's like, oh my gosh.
And what would you want to say to people that, are hesitant to pursue their passions?
It's that dream, that hope, that desire, that fire inside you to achieve something which keeps you alive. Do not give up on it. Try and seek an opportunity every single day to take you one step, no matter how close it is, to reach your goal, to reach your destination. And do not be shy of failure. If you fail, so what? Look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, nothing's changed. This is me. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and try again.
I love that. Shah, thank you so much. Thank you
It's
for being
been
with
an
us here
absolute
today.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I wish you all the best for
Thank you.
MasterChef.
Thank you so much.
If you open a restaurant, I'll be there.
My first invitation to you.
Aw, well, this was Shah, and thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of How She Did It, Cozy Conversations with Tea. Here, let's have some tea.
Thank you.
Delicious rose tea. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you love today's episode, make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe.
And let us know in the comments below what you liked about today's episode.
Thank you so much, Shah. Let's
Thank
do
you. Thank you
a
for having me.
beauty queen goodbye.
Okay.